Hey everybody, welcome to DadsDen of Pop Culture and Justice League Monday. Justice League number 42. Justice League America number 42. Justice League Europe number 18. And we are drawn down to the close of Justice League Mondays in 2025. God, you start at number 1 and it just... Time flies. The time flies. So we're going to take a look at both of these books in our weekly review. Story by Giffen and DeMatteis in this one. Art by McKone and Martian. Story by Giffen and Jones. Art by Sears and Roebuck. No, Sears and Elliott. All right, let's scoot the JLE out of the way. We're going to focus on the Justice League America. Now, if you will recall, we had just gone through the fight with Despero. We had seen the death of Mr. Miracle. And Max Lord wanted to expand the league. We need more muscle. We need more manpower. We're taking on major threats that we, at this point, cannot handle. I don't want any more casualties. That's what's going on. But we begin with Gypsy and John Jones looking at this shriveled up Despero that he frankly doesn't know what to do with. She's like, well, you know, why don't we just the guy? No, that would be murder. We don't do that. Now, to be quite honest with you, it's not really. Execution for having murdered many people is not the same thing as murder. But John doesn't want to kill him, so he ain't going to be killed. And he had asked Gypsy if she was wanting to join the league, and she says, no, I kind of need to be by myself. I need to figure things out. She's just lost her parents and all that. But John reiterates that as long as she's alive, she will always have family and somebody to go to. Now, John is looking at maybe taking a leave of absence himself. He says that when... As he says it here, it's funny. When I first met Gypsy, I knew nothing of my past life on Mars, of the wife, the child I'd left behind. Yet she touched something in me so deep. Now I see that despite the differences of worlds and time, she's so like my daughter that perhaps we should discuss this membership drive of yours. So he kind of wants to take some time off himself and ruminate on things. And Max is like, dude, please, not now. Just not now. I'm losing people. I need you here to do this. So membership drive time. Blue, Beetle, and Green Flame, Fire are going out to New Mexico to meet with El Diablo, one of the characters, one of the comics that was ongoing at that time. It could have ended by this point. I'm not sure. I don't think it had. It certainly seemed like it was still a going thing. So they stop into this restaurant, asking about for him. Of course, people there are like, who? I don't know. And he's there. He says, they're looking for me. And so there's El Diablo. Good design. I like the design on the character. And meanwhile, Guy Gardner goes to meet Starman, a different version of Starman than maybe people were used to, in Arizona. Marvel was also starting to put some characters in the American Southwest at this time. It was kind of a new burgeoning area to go into. And so he says, hey, it's giving you a chance to join the big leagues, get some training from a master like me. And Starman's like, you want me to join the JLI? Figured that out all by yourself, did you? Gee, and I heard you were a little on the slow side. Well, I'm really flattered, Mr. Gardner. And any other time I'd jump at the chance. Any other time? But right now, my personal life's a mess. I just can't do it. And off he goes. Do you figure that Guy Gardner can take no for an answer? No. Somehow, he takes that personally. And he says, I wasn't offering you membership. You've been drafted. And that's going to begin a fight between Starman and Guy Gardner. Meanwhile, Booster is still waiting as B has a discussion with El Diablo. She speaks Spanish. Blue Beetle does not. So he's kind of out of that one. Meanwhile, where were they? Well, they were in Washington, D.C., I think, at that time, right? Yeah. Hawk and Dove are being courted by Ice and the Huntress. I'd like, if you'd like to join the League, us. It's great art on Dove. I enjoyed that series a lot. I really did. It's one of the ones I'm sort of collecting here and there. So while all that is going on, their recruitment efforts, who shows back up? The Cluster. MangaCon has returned. And he's returned, what? With Mr. Miracle. Now, remember I told you, like, obviously something was going on with the Mr. Miracle character in Justice League. But I hadn't read his own series. And I'm presuming all this was there. But he had basically gotten roped into a deal by the Funky Flashman and MangaCon to go on this kind of tour of the galaxy. And he's finally coming back. And so, turns out, Mr. Miracle, not dead after all. And this is nice comic work. Okay. So here we have Blue Beetle in the foreground, being incredibly bored, and we have those two chatting in the background. And it starts off with, you can call me Beatrice. My grandmother's name was Beatrice. Oh, really? Family is very important to me. In fact, I think that. And then it becomes yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Now, because they're speaking in Spanish, which Booster does not understand. So when people are speaking in another language that you don't understand, it does sort of sound just like, a lot of noises. And I think he'd be bored if he actually knew what they were saying as well. But look at this. Look at how they set up this page. And you have all these very, very similar panels here, okay? We're gonna see how they continue that to keep that joke going. Here we have Starman going up straight up against Guy Gardner. Tell me something, Looney Tune. Is this how you guys recruit all your members? Nah, only the ones with diaper rash who need a good strong hand to set them straight. Now come here, baby dumpling. It's time you got a real spanking. Spankling? It's time you got a real spanking. And we hear from Starman, this man is not well. So that's not going particularly well. Pretty good chance Starman is not going to want to join the League. And it is at this point that Kilowog grabs Max. Hey, there's something you got to see. And lo and behold, it's Mr. Miracle. It's Oberon. It's MangaCon and Funky Flashman. And while that is happening, this reunion, surprising reunion, Batman and the Martian Manhunter are having a discussion. The problem is, I'm tired. These recent months, Batman, I've changed. I know it sounds cliched, but I've found myself in a way few beings ever do. I've had much to absorb and understand. Just sorting through what's inside myself has been a full-time job. To have to lead the League on top of that, to have to play the Great Green Martinet, hasn't been easy. And after this Despero fiasco, so time alone for retreat, for meditation wouldn't change anything. Life is what it is, John. And what it is hell. And sometimes it's far worse than that. You've handled more than most. You'll keep handling it. I don't share your worldview, Batman. On Mars, we believed Mars is dead, John. You're alive, on Earth. Be a survivor. It's all you can be. No, I think we can all be far more. And that was basically Batman saying, no, I'm not going to come back in and lead the League for you. So, again, we're getting this, reintroduction. What happened to him? Where has he been? And then all of a sudden, Mr. Miracle realizes that everybody thinks he's dead, including his wife. Now, obviously, a man would not want to break the heart of the woman he loves. But more importantly, you don't want to break the heart of a woman who could, snap a Buick in two and would gladly do it. So there you go. He's like, oh my God, I got to call my wife. And here we're finding out that, in fact, no, Hawk and Dove did not want to join the Justice League. And this is when Ice is like, Oberon, where have you been? We've been worried sick about you. And you didn't even show up to Scott's funeral. And he's like, no, Scott's not, but I'm telling you, no, Scott's not. Okay, so we get a little reunion there. We have, and here we go. See, now we use the same. Now it's nighttime, so you don't have the crowd looking at the bug. And we still have him just like, oh my God, they just keep talking and talking and talking. And at this point, it's where he's telling Beatrice, no, man, I can't. This isn't my style. I'm needed here. It's too far away for me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't join. And we just, come on, Beetle. It's about time. And you know that's got to be rough on Beetle because he likes to be the center of attention, telling the jokes, and he doesn't get to do that there. Well, they managed to make a trade, the Justice League and MangaCon. Because like we were talking about earlier, now the Justice League has this Despero, this remnant of Despero, and they don't know what to do with him. They trade him to MangaCon. In fact, they were willing to give it to him for free, but what he did is he traded them his robot pal, Elron. And Elron will become a big part of the League from this point onward. We have Mr. Miracle talking to Barda, and what we're going to find out is ultimately he's decided he is going to take a leave of absence. The whole world thinks Mr. Miracle is dead. Let him continue to think that he's dead. He wants time away to be with his wife. Can't blame him. We get Green Gardner. We get Guy Gardner getting home. The kid was a wimp. If Beetle and Fire hadn't showed up, I would have pounded him into stardust. Guy, that is not the way we operate. Maybe it ain't the way you operate, but it sure as hell's the way I operate. And then we have those two arguing. So I'm sociable, so sue me. Sociable. You two were yammering away in tongues, for God's sake. Personally, I'd call that rude. Rude? You're calling me rude? And Elron, who was kind of like going, I can't believe MangaCon traded me. Like, I was there to do all these things for him. He's watching these people and their messy lives, and he's thinking, this might not be so bad. These people need a lot of help as well. And we end this issue with Max and John. Again, I can't spare you. I cannot spare you. Please stay. Please stay. And Oberon coming in. You're not going to believe what just showed up on our front door. Can't it wait? No. Look at that. Look at the look of surprise there on Max's face. Boom. We want to join your Justice League America, and we want to join it now. Oberon and Light Ray. So, Mr. Miracle of the New Gods out. Orion and Light Ray of the New Gods are in. They're joining the League, and they needed some more muscle. Well, they got it, and maybe in fact they're going to get more muscle than they know what to do with Orion. We'll leave that to next issue, though, because you demanded it. The return of Wally Tortellini. Do you remember Wally Tortellini? You'll remember him when we get there. You will remember him. Master the Power. Demon Sword. Oh, good old-fashioned arcade games. Oh, not arcade games. Video games. So there we have Justice League America number 42 for this week. Exit America, enter Europe, and a big storyline for Justice League Europe. We'll roll through it relatively quickly. So the extremists from that other world have come and conquered Earth, essentially. And they transported Justice League Europe to their dead world. All right? And so they're kind of inspecting this place. Maybe they're in sort of their version of New York, probably something like it anyways. When what happens? A missile. It's a nuclear tune. A missile comes in and explodes, and it says, "Come to Wacky World for the time of your life." They're like, what the heck? Well, this place is supposed to be completely dead. Well, they follow along those arrows, and what do they find? They, in fact, find an amusement park. Good God. And from Rocket Red, it is incredible. Like nothing on the Earth. And they're all hitting Wally, I think it is like, oh no, there's a lot of them on Earth. It's called an amusement park, dude. It's fine. So in they go to this amusement park, and what happens? They are greeted with a parade. A parade in this supposedly dead world. And leading the parade, well, actually leading the parade is her, but the feature of the parade is this weird-looking guy on his throne, and who is crumpled up in front of him the Silver Sorceress, who the League knows, of course, having dealt with her and Blue Jay in the past. And so they want to know what's going on, and you better let her go. And all of a sudden, clouds of some kind of poison gas come out and knock them out, and they awaken strapped into this amusement ride. And the amusement ride is going to give them a little sort of a little bit of the background on this world, which frankly we already know if we've been reading it, but a new reader might not, that this world was destroyed by nuclear war. The extremists then have gone, to this other world, etc. It's a wacky, wacky world. Yes, it's a wacky, wacky world. And our wacky world says goodbye. And there's our weird little dude there, smiling at them. So, ride's over. They get out. What are we going to do? And, Captain Adam's trying to take it easy here. He's gotten in trouble charging into things before. He's trying to take it slow. Well, Rex, Metamorpho, is not. And he grabs this janitor, and his head sort of comes off because it turns out he's a robot. In fact, they're all robots. And when they come back out, they find there are robots there in the park who look kind of like visitors. Like there's all sorts of folks walking around, and they all want you to be wacky, and they all want you to be happy. We have Power Girl, or I can't take it anymore. If one more of these gadgets tells me to enjoy my stay in Kara, no. She's about to go nuts on everybody. What ultimately happens? They want to see the leader. They're taken into this, display. And of course, if you know Disneyland, you've been in things like this before. And this guy comes out who kind of looks like a high priest. Tells them the story of Mitch Wacky, who wanted to make an amusement park full of fun for everybody. Here he is designing one of these animatronics. Let there be life. The visionary designed us, his chosen people, and he walked among his chosen people, and he opened the gates of his kingdom that all men might see his works. So isn't it just too bad that all men are dead? And then this guy, Carney is what they call him, comes in. You are sick. They are all sick, if machines can be sick. And they attack. It doesn't really work. He's sort of like, almost looks like he's maybe a hologram there. But there's still an opportunity for them to find what's going on as they start to be surrounded by all of these robots who now they're pretty angry. Now they want to deal with them. Well, Silver Sorceress manages to reach out and connect to the weakest mind among them. She's been through a lot. She has just enough willpower to connect with the weakest mind, who happens to be Wally West, the Flash. And she leads Wally to where they are. Blast a hole in the floor. They're running through. They get there. Carney is not real happy to see them. It's him. Let's take him. No, it's not fair. It's not fair. So they're about to attack him, and what does he do? He presses a button to essentially blow up the entire park. Metamorpho quickly takes the form, probably of something like steel or something even stronger, gets on top of everybody there to protect them from Baboom, the blast. And they do survive, although the park, for the most part, doesn't. But when that boom goes off, the power stops on this sort of a unit, opens up. Is that smoke? Or maybe it's not smoke. What's happened? Why have I woken up alone? What's happened to my world? What has happened? Well, obviously Mitch Wacky is supposed to be kind of like a Walt Disney. And if you know the stories about Walt Disney, you can probably guess what they were doing with that. Next, the conclusion to end all conclusions, extreme measures. So there we have it. We have continued the storyline of the Extremists. There's some good surprises ahead as they go. We have seen another sort of a kind of a one-shotty issue for Justice League America, mostly designed for the comedy, some nice character work with John Jones, really kind of highlighting he, in so many ways, just does not fit in, not just because he's a Martian, he's from another world, but he has a very different attitude than a lot of the other people within the league, Batman obviously being one of them. But we get this membership drive that really doesn't work out. I do like how they put Mr. Miracle back there smiling as sort of, and he's kind of surprised, right? That little shock of these characters back there. When you first look at this, that's who you're seeing right there, But there's, hey, what's going on back there? I thought that guy was gone. Well, he's not gone. Here, you kind of like, it kind of looks like Mickey's gloved hand holding everybody. Really doesn't show up in the book, but nice cover image. I think that's maybe the second time they've done one of those. Yeah, they had that big robot grabbing the other league. Anyhow, Justice League America number 42, Justice League Europe number 18 from what are we at? September of 1990. Good times. That's going to do it for this one. Let me know in the comments what you think of these. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe, maybe share with a friend. But until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little bit of fun out there, and I will see you hopefully again soon in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.